My name is Natasha Kleinbach, and I'm in the Wednesday 6:30 p.m. class at Lake Sumter State College. This is a feather that has come from a bird. In Cherokee Native American tribes, as well as other tribes, feathers from birds were often sacred and used in headdresses, clothing, and other things, including rituals. It is sacred in their clothing. My Cherokee ancestors wore many different things as clothing. My culture is very unique for many reasons, and especially for its culture. Clothing was made from animals, with the animal hide, with the animal leather, with everything the animal had to offer. It was also made from clothing that was traded from Spaniards as well as Europeans. The clothing style was very different from other cultures and other countries outside of America. My ancestors are great Cherokee Native Americans. I want to inform others of the clothing they wore because they are my culture and I'm proud of it. Clothing is made from animals, animal hide, skin, etc. Every animal knows more than you do. That is a Native proverb. Animals are respected in Native American tribes. As a lot of people have heard, Native Americans, when they kill an animal, they use every piece of the animal. That includes the hide for clothing. This being the case, Native Americans were never wasteful with it, so they always would try to make more use out of it. They respected the animals. Cherokee Native Americans were very spiritual as well. They believed in great spirits of animals, great spirits of nature. They didn't want to cause any chaos between the two. That being said, they always were grateful for any animal hide they got to use. Clothing was traded with the Europeans and the Spanish. Wool clothing from Europeans impacted the Native Americans significantly. It gave them more options for different type of materials whenever they didn't have enough of their own, such as whenever they were making leggings from deer hide, they would actually use wool if they didn't have any. And the wool came from the Europeans as well as the Spaniards. A statistic that I have is most women in the Cherokee tribes wore traded European undergarments as outer garments. That's from nationalclothing.org. This means that the women, they would wear the traditionally underwear as outerwear because it was different culturally. In the 18th century, the Native American tribes were introduced to the nowadays modern shirt. The clothing style of the Cherokee Native Americans was way different from other cultures. Women in tribes began to wear trade shirts with feather capes. They used blankets as coats and wore moccasins. Before the 1700s, women wore deerskin wrap skirts. When they got wool, they made their wrap skirts out of wool, which was seen as very odd by European women. Native American tribes used silk fabrics to be draped around their shoulders and waists for not only the women but for the men as well. This was also seen as strange since silk was a very highly sophisticated material at the time, so whenever they would wear it like this, it was seen as strange. The clothing of my Cherokee Native American culture is very special for many reasons. They were sacred to the animals, they were respectful, and it meant a lot to them. This is what most of the women would use as a blanket as well as a coat. That's how it became a thing for women to wear blankets as coats, and that's how it became a lot different between cultures. Much can be learned about your own ancestors' culture through something as simple as clothing. I hope you've learned something about Native American culture, which is mine, and I hope you are inspired to learn about yours. Thank you for watching.